Hi there, Planet Hoppers, it's Miss O Plays, and I'm going to be going back to form today with a brand new outpost tour to share with you all. I decided to start a new universe for Shattered Space, so that's meant that I've had to go and rebuild all my outposts once again, and the one I got today is my cruise resort, kind of like the Kodos one I filmed a few months back, only, you know, this is in my new Game Plus. But before I try and sell you on this intergalactic timeshare, I really do want to thank some of my supporters, such as Maltheus, Saskia, Viper on Your 6, Marty S, and Rollinator for their support over on my Ko-fi page, because, as I've said before, that support really does go a long way towards me being able to make these videos and mods for you all. So thanks y'all once again, and I will reserve a suite for you should you ever make it out here to this beautiful, beautiful tropical forest biome on the moon Schrodinger 8A. And this biome has these beautiful, lush, purple palm trees. The gas giant you can see in the sky at all times of day, and I got really lucky and found this oasis point of interest on top of a hill, which I was able to take over to build this outpost. This time, instead of a fancy beach resort, I wanted to make something more like a luxurious wilderness retreat, so that's what I did. It's all very spread out, so everyone has their own private accommodations. We've got 3 different tiers of private suites. Then I've got some camping that I managed to make happen down in the forest itself. It's also got a swanky bar right next to that lagoon and a really fancy restaurant, which is something that I've wanted to build for quite some time. So come with me and let's take a look at all those new buildings. And let's start off with the Penthouse Suite, which is the biggest one of the suites, and that one is right at the top of the mountain and overlooks that lagoon. Get your Miso bingo cards ready for warm wood tones. Yes, if it's rustic, it's warm wood tones. And as you can see, I relied pretty heavily on the wooden furniture to furnish this suite, along with some nice pops of gold that work well with that blue environment outside. This white wall I covered up using some of the pictures from a few updates ago to make it look a bit more rustic. And then I paneled in that fridge using some Aquila walls from the last Better Buildable Walls and Doors update. Made another one of those custom tea dispensers using one of those pedestals, this time flipping one of those wooden bowls upside down to make the top, since they're about seamless with the pedestals when you do. And in that other bowl back there, I filled it up with some flowers like you get for resources to make it look like my captain's been out foraging in the forest as well. Speaking of tea, one of my first ports of call in a new universe is to go to Neon and steal a bunch of these tea sets, so my captain can drink her tea while sitting in these swanky club chairs and taking in that beautiful view outside. Of course, there's more to life than tea. There's also sleeping, so here is the sleep area for this suite. Again, separated off using those Aquila wall dividers and some plants. We've got some natural specimens too here on those display shelves to show off what this moon has to offer, as well as a small armory, because staying safe is always important, even on vacation when you're living out on the fringes of the settled systems. Here in the corner is one of the Nova Galactic bathrooms from Furnish Your Fleet, which I paneled in using those Aquila wall pieces again, much like I did with the fridge, and I was pleasantly surprised how well some of those Furnish Your Fleet pieces work in the outpost tabs. I didn't think they would because they're quite a bit shorter, but if you use some walls to kind of panel them in, they actually work really well for outposts as well as ships. So that's the Captain's Suite. Let's come on outside now and go check out one of our other suites. And you can see that we got this walkway coming out from the cliffside over there. That again is using that sleep crate mod. And I really like how these mossy decals like jump up onto these floor pieces. So it still looks pretty, natural and rustic, like it belongs in the wilderness, even though it's a pretty industrial piece on its own. Here in this other suite, it's a little bit more chic looking perhaps than the last one, but we still got those warm wood tones going on through it. Got my tea station down there in this little kitchen area where our guests can make themselves a few snacks. As we turn around, I got one of my favorite table settings I've done so far. I used a piece of the ornamental material to make that really cool mat in the centerpiece, and then I used the collision cheater mat, 1 as placemats, and 2 to get that bowl to sit inside ornamental material to make that centerpiece bowl. And I thought that was a really cool looking effect, and you can use those collision cheaters to put things like meals over folders used as placemats. They're actually pretty useful for table setting. I've got another drink station here in the corner because all hotels have a coffee maker. This one is no different, even if we clearly prefer tea. And then I use these Aquila wall pieces again, this time with the curtains in them, to make a sort of fancy private 4-poster bed. You can pull those curtains and get a bit of privacy since we're living in a glass house here. Through here we got another one of those bathrooms using the walkway pieces, because it's really hard to build in a bathroom any other way in these trapezium shaped tabs. Got some shoji screen walls back there and here for the shower, along with that little wood panel wall. And again, makeshift shower using a utility tray and a semi-metal wafer, since I am using a pretty lean load order at the moment. Now we're going to come on outside. That was our second suite. I want to go check out that restaurant that I mentioned earlier. So out we go. We got these pillars up here, by the way, on top of some pedestals. Those are the neon light pillars from the last Better Buildable Walls and Doors update. They lend this resort a kind of paradiso feel, and they also make it look more interesting out here at night when, of course, it does get pretty dark. And now here we are inside that restaurant proper. It's got a nice host station over here with a computer terminal, notepad, so our front of house staff can check for any reservations. And then I filled this one bowl here with some tea bags to make them look like after dinner mints. But I'm thinking I might actually switch those out for ping pong balls, which might look a little bit more like a mint since I've used so much tea in this outpost already. For those looking to enjoy our 5-star cuisine, we got these tables set up along the windows, sectioned off with the planters to make them a little bit more private and intimate. And I made my own little light fittings again up there on the ceiling using those control rods as well as some lamps. And it actually does light up pretty nicely at night. If you're stopping more for the cocktail menu or bar snacks, we've got these really nice little seats over here too. Again, more custom lighting, this time using those micro floater terrariums. I really liked how the blue lights from those lamps from Furnish Fleet work alongside these furniture pieces and those glass wall partitions. It looks quite chic and it brings a nice bit of light and drama into that center space of the habs where the lighting can be particularly difficult sometimes. Any fancy restaurant's gonna want to have a fancy bathroom, and I built this one over in the habs actually adjoining the round one. So this is actually sectioned off into a different hab using those studio wall pieces. And again, we've got one of those Nova Galactic bathrooms here, this time flanked in using some of the big square pillars from that studio wall collection. Maybe you want to impress your date with some omakase, or you want to get to know the chef, then we have these 3 seats here against the bar, which has a great view of the kitchen, so you can see all the magic happening as it happens. Now we're going to flip it from watching the kitchen to watching the dining room and going into the kitchen. I used one of the galley pieces from that Furnish Your Fleet mod to make this kitchen. I, again, didn't think it was going to work that well in an outpost hab, but as you can see, it does if you wall it in correctly. And then here we are looking out onto that dining room. And how I made this pass through was by placing one of the large wide doorway pieces from Better Buildable Walls and Doors, and then using the counters from Furnish Your Fleet to go across it in the middle. So it looks like it's like a hole in a wall, but it's actually several different furniture pieces put together to get that effect. And then here we are looking at that bar again and those nice glass partitions from the other side. So that is my swanky restaurant. We've still got one more of the suites to go see before we go down into the forest to check out the camping accommodations. And this suite is built into the same hab that I used to build the bathroom, and I sectioned it off using again wall pieces and these shelves. And even with that big chunk taken out of it, there's still a lot of floor space to work with for this particular suite. Again, we got another one of those Nova Galactic bathrooms. You got your own private ensuite bathroom, some Varunkai literature there on the coffee table, and a pretty nice table setting once again here in that window. And you know, this suite might actually have a better view than the Penthouse Suite because it's so close to the tops of those palm trees. I really like the way that looks when you look outside of the windows. It's kind of dramatic. Definitely get the feeling of height in this particular hab. Here's our bedroom. We don't have rose petals to scatter on the bed, but we do have blue leaves. So we got those on there. Who said romance is dead in the Starfield future? And again, more of that fantastic palm tree view. This room also has a pretty swanky bar. For the shelves, I ended up going with the ship version rather than the outpost version, because the outpost version, as you might know or remember, is really large and it took up too much footprint considering how much we'd already lost to that bathroom. We've got some Varunkai drinks on there again because I really do like the models they used for those. They got some nice colors, nice textures, and they look really swanky. So that takes us through all of the 3 suites that we have up here by the lagoon itself. So now we're going to go on down the hill into the forest and check out the camping. And I built 3 campsites, much like I have the 3 suites. I'm going to start with the first one and then go on through to the third one, because I think you can kind of see how I got the hang of building these as I went along this way. So you can see that kind of linear sense of progression. And I built all of these camps into these greenhouse hats, which are a little awkward to work with, but it ended up being really fun challenge. The tents we've got outside are from that sleep crate mod again. And here I have a custom sunbed underneath the tent because the sun is way too strong here. We can relax, enjoy some fruit, or even a little bit of volleyball. And then when we come on inside to what is maybe our most modern and minimalistic of these camping greenhouses, again, there's that Nova Galactic bathroom because they fit in a lot of different places, and they really do add a nice bathroom into habs that we otherwise wouldn't be able to get a bathroom into. Got some of the wall cabinets from Furnish along with the countertops there to make that coffee station. So it's not got a lot of stuff in there, but you know, it's a campsite, so it's not supposed to. And if you're camping, then you probably want to do your cooking outdoors. So here is our outdoor kitchen. Got one of those camp stoves, another tea set there too. And then I used some of the plants to hang off of those tents to make them look a little bit more rustic and in keeping with this fancy, luxurious retreat, make it look a little bit less like it is actually a greenhouse. The second one through here again is rather a nice garden. I discovered that you can get some of those Starborn planters up onto the regular planters, so I made kind of a cool little rock garden there, I think. And as we go on inside, we're going to be surprised to see more warmwood tones, because like I said, this is the bingo card warmwood tone outpost. Got some nice seating with those really sweet looking executive chairs, bowl with some tea in it, this time representing tea, a little bit of a television, some soil samples because they're kind of cute looking, and I managed to get the Nova Galactic bathroom in once again, but started getting better at like paneling it in again using some of the wood walls. I really like the outdoor kitchen for this one. We've got all of our vegetables that have been scavenged from in the forest, some alien kebabs up there on the stove, and a groat pie. And then here is a little dining room proper where we've got those nice steel cups, because I think that's like a very camping appropriate tableware to have, and some game time too, so you can play games with your friends who are maybe staying at one of the other camping spots, such as campsite number 3. And this is my favorite one. By the time I got to this one, I really had started to get the feel of decorating extensively inside these peculiar round floor plans. And this has got the most warm wood tone, I think, anywhere in the entire outpost. Really warm, really wood. And again, we've got another one of those flower bowls there, because I really do like how that looks. Got another camping bed made up using some of the wooden tables once again to prop it up. And again, of course, one of those Nova Galactic bathrooms. And these Nova Galactic bathrooms are probably one of my favorite things that have been added to the game, and because you can use them to add a bathroom to pretty much everything. And also I really like the color scheme in there too, with the red plants along with all the decorations in there. I thought it looked really nice, and it was quite different from the rest of this outpost. Again, we've got our outdoor kitchen, got those alien kebabs on the stove, and some sweet rolls. And this one even has the meal in progress. And instead of going for the really fancy whetstone meals, I went with something a little bit more casual. In this particular case, a couple of meals that I picked up in New Homestead over at the Brown Horse Tavern. And that covers all 3 of our different kinds of accommodation that we have at this resort. So now let's go back up the hill and go check out the bar by the lagoon, which makes up our natural swimming hole. And I made this bar and all the catwalk pieces you've seen so far using the Sleep Crate build kit from Betamax 76, which is a really versatile mod if you haven't already downloaded it, along with, of course, more pieces from Buildable walls and doors and Furnish Your Fleet. The bar itself here is made using the storefront from that Sleep Crate kit, and it makes a great bar, which is then decorated with some exotic snacks and some barkeep equipment there in the back. And over here we have these exotic drinks from Varun Kai, because I kind of figured this is a very beautiful planet with blue trees. It seems like somewhere all my homies from Varun Kai might want to come and vacation too. And then we've got this lounge area down here with the sunken microfloater terrarium into those tables. And that was going to take us on through to the lagoon itself. I used some of the lighting pads from Buildable walls and doors along with more of those neon pillars to add a bit of lighting at night so we can still see that natural beauty even when it is very dark. And then I built some of these cabanas around the outside of the lagoon too, using the rug trick like I did on Kodos. Now for these, instead of like the regular rugs, I used the collision cheaters from Buildable walls and doors again because they have an incredibly tiny footprint. And when you use that rug glitch, the only footprint that counts is the rug itself. And that allowed me to build these large furniture pieces without losing any of the really pretty natural features of this location. If I placed down the chair by itself, for example, it would always bulldoze those rocks and several of the lily pads. But using the collision cheater to get all of the pieces in not only allowed me to sink it into the ground, but it also allowed me to keep a lot of these really beautiful natural features too. Of course, any resort, in order to keep running, needs to have its utilities, and that's what we've got down here. Again, these are built using that sleep crate mod, and as we come on through to this particular crate, I'm going to open it up, and this is my utility shed. We've got some mission boards there, should the staff want to pick up some extra odd jobs to get a bit of extra money. Got some storage, spacesuit workstation, because it's really radioactive on this moon, so you need to keep your spacesuit in good condition. So if anyone's spacesuit is lacking, they can go fix it there, or I suppose get it fixed by the concierge. And then up here is our game warden's suite too. Now we've got a lot of hunting scorpions again that are pretty dangerous. We've got some big game hunting going on. Here's my game warden's office, and then when we come through this one door here, here's the living quarters. And again, as you can see, it's a sleep crate, but I tried to make it look a little bit more chic than the ones I usually build on Neon, because I'm not trying to give our staff crappy digs, but it is a utilitarian center that's built kind of off the side of the mountain in its own little area. But it's, you know, it's snug, it's pretty cozy, but it's not terribly fancy, and that's where our staff can stay overnight for whoever has to work those difficult night shifts. And those are our utilities. You can see you've got those power windmills up there, and some of the water pumps too to keep the water going to those suites. And that is all the buildings in this particular outpost. It's a pretty widespread one, as I said before, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and I've still got a little bit of budget left to work with should I want to add some more pieces down the line. Feels like it's been a really long time since I got to do an outpost tour video, and I really enjoy getting to just build an outpost in the game again for the sake of it. It's been a while since I've done that too. So thanks for sticking with me through this tour. Hopefully you get some ideas on things you might want to build for outposts of your own. But for now, I guess, as always, if you found anything in this video remotely interesting or entertaining, please do drop me a like and subscribe. And I'll be back again, hopefully next week, with more building tips, ships, and outpost tours. Till next time, bye!